Okie dokie. Let us explore around my favorite place in the world. It used to be Poverty Point, but now I'm a Big Mound Ridge kind of feller. You know, a lot of people say, "Hey, Brad, let's go to Paris, France. Let's go to Paris, France, Brad." I'm like, no, I want to go to Big Mound Ridge. You know, but I think I want a time machine too. I want to go back. But I would settle for just going there and just hanging out. But what we're looking at here, in some ways, is a great little island up there. But what we're looking at here, in some ways, I run through some years here in a minute, and you'll look at the really wet years. And I mean, you didn't have to tell me. I've always talked about it. You get around me, and like, that's all I'm talking about. It rains. Well, it's not as wet as it was in 2009, or it's not as wet as it was in 2016 or 2018. Look at that right there. See, we're at Big Mound Ridge, and there's that big rectangle around this thing. I don't know exactly what's going on with that back then. This was back in the 80s and 90s. That you can see that. Well, you can still see the sense of it there even on up, 2000. And I don't know if that was just wood that was harvested there, or if it's just a natural formation that we're seeing with, not a natural formation, some kind of a... See, this one right here is really neat, because you can see, whatever makes the rectangle, you can see a shape. And I see like an alligator face there, or a fish. A fish or an alligator gar. I call it alligator gar mound here in a while. But you can see the rectangular area there. And I'm assuming that it was harvested. And there is kind of a trail that goes over there, But that trail is not the same as it was then. This is an old map, I would imagine. I know that you can look at newer maps and you can see where there's been tornadoes down there and all kinds of stuff betwixt that tram and that mound. But now there's other ways to get there, but this is private property, so I'm just looking at it from the sky. But it's it's just a remote area. I mean, you think about it. Big Mound Ridge is 1.5 miles from anything. It's not just some little, you walk 12 feet off the side of the road like, Morris Pine. This is a substantial, to get to this thing, unless you got some kind of a mechanized vehicle. And I'd have some gasoline in it probably right now until they get them fixed, But yeah, look at it. See, you start seeing that what I call an alligator head in that thing, but it goes on up there. See, like the top of his ridge of his head up there to the north, and it goes down. And there's almost like his whole body is out there too, and you just don't know. I mean, but now we'll get to other maps here in a minute where it looks more like an alligator gar, or just a mound. This is probably the most recent images we're getting close to here. You may can see it up there better than I can, but I think it's around. That's an alligator right there, I see. Or something. I don't know what it is. But you can still see the remnants of that rectangle there, too. And yeah, I'm talking at a different time than I'm doing the video. But I'm up here I'm playing around with the rectangle, and I'm playing around with the alligator head and the fish head, and I'll do 2 or 3 things with it here to kind of show you what I'm seeing there, And there it could be the finger of God touching down. Build your mound here, men, ladies and gentlemen, indigenous peoples of southwest of Crosset, pre-Cadoans. So yeah, I don't know what I'm typing there, but something about something about an alligator. Do I know how to spell? Yeah, alligator head. Alligator head ridge. And this is what they want. Yeah, this is Alligator Head Ridge Mound. But I don't know that. See, there's some more over here. We don't know what all was there a long time ago. There's been a lot of stuff happening down there. It's water area. It washes off. It's right there. It flows into Mossy Lake or Alligator Head Lake. You know, we're going to play with different things here. I like just kind of jumping around. I want to look at it from another perspective. So we'll turn on the topographical map sometimes, and we'll turn it off, and we'll go to this mountain this year and that year. And really, you know, Google Earth is Pro, the one that you can download to your PC. It's just so fun. Now you can see that fish. Oh, I was like squirrel there, wasn't I? You see, the weird thing of it is that there's something called fish slough, and then you got this fish-shaped thing over there. It's shaped like, it's a mound. You know, there's your fish. And there's fish slough. I mean, it could have been the fish people. Cadoans. Pre-Cadoans. Coffee Prairie people. That's what I'd call them. Coffee Lake. Coffee Prairie people. You know, or whatever they called that thing. There's another one right beside it over there that kind of mixes and mingles with it called Indian Creek. But this one is Coffee Creek and Coffee Prairie. Coffee Prairie Mound. Fish Slough. I'm just going to try to outline what I call a fish. And I think it's probably like an alligator gar looking thing. And again, you know, it rains here. This thing flows down. This is a low-lying area. You can see that. I mean, like most of the area around Big Mound is, you know, you can see in the 60s, even, you know, out there 50 feet. I mean, it's a pretty low area down there. 75 feet, 70, 64 was all around up in that area. But there, the Big Mound there has one area that's like 86 feet that you can see just from scrolling around on Google Earth. 80 feet's kind of regular across there, but there's one little ridge there, and I don't know if it's some kind of an eye or just, you know, where the guy says, "Hey, I want everybody to know I'm the boss. I come. And I stand right here, and everybody does what I tell them to do." Or, you know, it's the revered father. Oh, it's the revered father. Yeah, I was also listening to some weather back here, and he said something. I said, what? He said something about cold and snow and ice. But it doesn't look like it's going to be for any of us, just to be honest with you, after reviewing his footage. But now, I'm going to be honest with you, in my honest opinion, he ain't got quite enough white hair up there. You know what I'm saying? He's going to get some more white hair up on his hair if I'm going to trust him all the way. Come on. Yeah, you can see I was up there in Fountain Prairie earlier with the USGS topographical. This is the beta release of the 3D topographical map. And see, it looks kind of a little bit different, but it still looks like a fish. Yeah, it's a fish. And then if you look there, there's a larger area around it right there. See, I don't know if I can see. If you can see, you probably can't see what I can see. But maybe I draw around it. But there's a larger area, and then there's that higher area. Now, it could have been that it was just, you know, a little bit naturally, you know, more high area. But it could have been that there could have been a wider area that was made higher, and then one particular area within that was higher, and then one within that was higher. Like the little small area that has that 86 feet. All right, well, bouncing back to where we're at in the video, this thing is about a third of a mile from where Coffee Creek, Mossy Lake, Coffee Lake, you know, whatever you want to call the thing. It's called Mossy Lake right now. And some people, that seems like more of an older name. Coffee is, if you think about it, coffee is relatively new. I mean, I'm sitting here drinking some coffee right now on this Sunday morning. But it's relatively new, so it's obviously not an old name. The Native Americans used. So they didn't use that name. It's something that we call it. We don't know what they call it. We know that it blends in with quote unquote Indian Creek. So we can tell you a few things about it. When you see that, you know that there's been a lot of Native American history discovered around that creek. Not surprising. Not surprising at all. If I were a indigenous people and I wanted to be near the game and the fish, this is probably where I'd be at, right down there. Get in a group of people to come in and clear it off and make us a good hunting area, a camp, fishing camp, hunting camp. Yeah, there. I'm tracing that other line there. I don't know if you can see it on the screen because it's just where I live. I barely. We don't have that fancy internet out here yet. Hopefully we can get it one of these days. We have like a 1.5 megabit upload. So, a 12-minute video like we're going to produce here is going to, if we didn't do a low quality, that thing will last all day long. I think that what I'm doing here is capturing that. I was going to try to move it into some kind of a graphics art creation thing and see if I can't trace it out later on, when I got nothing to do. I got so much to do already, but what kind of event things to do. But there's a fish thing going on there, man. I'll get my mind around it, I'm trying to figure out that thing, the head of it, what it looked like there. And Big Mound looked like an eye to me right there. I don't know. We'll figure it out later. All I can say is happy Sunday. Have fun. Be safe. And all that.